Hello, thank you for joining me in this session for Grading and Amplifying for English Learners. As I read this quote from the U.S. Department of Education, notice which words and phrases speak to equity for English learners and which words and phrases resonate with you. During their educational journey from enrollment to graduation, ELL students are entitled to instruction in the school district's core curriculum. One way to meet this obligation is to provide full access to the grade-appropriate core curriculum from the start of the ELL program, while using appropriate language assistance strategies in the core instruction so that ELL students can participate meaningfully as they acquire English. You may have identified these words in blue: entitled to instruction, core curriculum, obligation, full access, appropriate language assistance strategies, core instruction, and participate meaningfully. As we move through this recording, we will remain grounded in this guidance in these key phrases to show what is best for supporting English learners in accessing the core curriculum and equity in grading practices for ELLs. Before we begin, take a moment and imagine you enter a class and your teacher gives you this assignment. What do you think this text is about? And what helped you make that hypothesis? Now read the same text with language supports or amplifications. Now what's helping you understand the text? Or what else might help you understand this text? You may have noticed diagrams and illustrations, some cognates, key vocabulary support, and images. What else might have helped you access the content in this text? You may have benefited from your teacher pre-teaching vocabulary, making links to previous learning. You may have benefited from using partner or group support, word banks, sentence frames, or more. All of these are examples of instructional supports and language supports, also called amplifications. Amplifications such as these can help English learners participate meaningfully in the core curriculum. According to the CMS grading plan, students should receive a grade with appropriate instructional supports, language supports, and testing accommodations provided according to the student's proficiency levels. Students should not be limited from receiving top grades in a class even with amplified assignments. Per federal guidance, ELLs should not receive grades of D, F, or other failing grades on assignments solely due to their limited English proficiency. Linked into the CMS grading plan are frequently asked questions for English learners. While teachers of English learners need to review the document in its entirety, today we'll focus on a few key points. Take a moment and pause this video to familiarize yourself with this guidance in amplifying or adding language scaffolds. For example, teachers should refrain from simplifying instruction, tasks, or texts. This could be using summaries in isolation, simplifying the text, or using translation in isolation. Teachers can, however, amplify the instruction, task, or text with language supports. Language supports, like the ones we saw earlier, can include chunking or engineering the text, visuals, vocabulary support, sentence and discussion frames, etc. Now take a moment to pause the video to familiarize yourself with this guidance in D or F grades for English learners. For example, teachers cannot give a student a D or F grade solely based on limited English proficiency. If a newcomer makes no attempt on an assignment that is not amplified to their level, we cannot fail them. Teachers can give students below grade level marks only if the instructional supports, language supports, and accommodations specified in the English Learner Plan have been implemented, and the student either makes no attempt or has not shown progress towards language acquisition and content mastery. Now take a moment to pause this video and familiarize yourself with this guidance on which instructional and language supports are appropriate. In a moment, we will introduce you to the platform that houses student data and English learner plans. For example, teachers cannot rely only on translation tools in instruction or in assessments. Teachers can use the student's home language with intention as a scaffold to understand the content while students develop the language. And as students develop the language, the teacher will remove the scaffold of translation to build proficiency. What supports are appropriate for your students? Let's explore the platform that houses our L data and L plans, including amplifications and accommodations. To log on to Elevation, you will navigate to myncedcloud.org, click the clever icon, and then click the elevation icon. When you enter Elevation, you will see a list of all your English learner students. Click on a student from your homepage to learn more about where that student is from, the student's home language, and how long the student has been in U.S. schools. Elevation also houses student data on the annual access test, which assesses social and academic language development in the domains of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Also in Elevation, you can find information on what amplifications or language supports are appropriate for your students. Remember, instructional supports do not have to be limited to what is in the student's L plan. The teacher may add or remove supports as needed by the student. If the instructional supports do not seem appropriate for the student, teachers can notify the school L committee for review. Finally, in Elevation, you can find the testing accommodations that your students must receive. For example, this student would receive a read aloud, a bilingual dictionary, and extended time. Remember, if a student receives this accommodation on an EOG or EOC, the student must also receive this accommodation for class assessments. Furthermore, teachers may need to directly teach students how to use a bilingual glossary to foster student success when they take the assessment. Now that we've explored the Elevation platform, let's explore more L resources that are available from our department. You can access our L Services Canvas page using the bit.ly on your screen, bit.ly/L Services Support. There you will find our curriculum resources, professional learning opportunities, the PACE toolkit that houses strategies for English learners, and how to request an interpreter or dictionary from our language assistance team, and many more. Don't forget to reach out to the language expert in your building, your school's L teachers, as well as district support. Together, we are a powerful force. Together, we can and will do more for our students than we can do individually. Thank you for viewing this video on grading and amplifying for English learners. Please take a moment to complete the brief survey found at this address, bit.ly/LLAPDeval. Thank you.